Hi, my name is Haley McIntyre, and welcome to Haley McIntyre Presents Fun with Sociology. I chose a project anything but heavy metal. I wanted to choose this project because music means a lot to me, and I wanted to see how much it meant to other people as well. So the first thing I did was go to Facebook to conduct a survey to see if music is something that people must have in their life or not. I asked this question, and I got 51 people to respond to me, in which 90% of those people said that they need to have music in their life, whereas the other 10% said no. Then I went to Google Forms to conduct another survey, which is 2 questions long. I asked 2 very simple questions, shared it to my Facebook, and got 59 responses on this survey. My first question is, what is your favorite genre of music? And what genre of music will you absolutely not listen to? I did list a few options to choose from, but I also had another option where people could plug in their favorite genre of music if I didn't have it listed, because there's just so many genres these days that I couldn't get them all onto one survey. So I got 42.4% of people saying that country was their favorite genre of music. 18.6% of people said that rock was their favorite genre of music. 5.1% of people said that metal was their favorite genre of music. 3.4% of people said classical music was their favorite genre. 1.7% said gospel. 5.1% said pop. 8.5% said R&B. 1.7% said video game, alternative, 70s and 80s new wave, and contemporary Christian music. 5.1% of people said hip-hop. 3.4% of people said rap. For the second question, what music will you absolutely not listen to? I got the responses of 8.6% for rap, 13.6% for metal, 13.6% for gospel, 11.9% for jazz, 8.5% for dance/electronic, 8.5% for classical, 3.4% for reggae, 3.4% for dubstep, 5.1% for grunge, 3.4% for punk, 5.1% for folk, 1.7% for hip-hop, and 3.4% for country. It seems that there is more of a variety of music that people are willing to listen to than for jazz. So then I went to survey 3 people that I knew. So I surveyed my mom, my dad, and my husband, Corey. I asked them how often they listen to music, and they all 3 said that they listen to it every single day. I asked them, what kind of music do you listen to cheer yourself up? My husband, Corey, he responded with Chad Gray, his favorite vocalist. He is in the bands Mudvayne and Hell Yeah. My dad said anything heavy metal. And my mom said it depends on the day. She mostly listens to country, hair metal bands such as Poison or Rat, and possibly some R&B. I also asked them, what do you think of when you're listening to music? Because that's important. My husband said that he thinks of many things. It depends on the song and the band. And he will often listen to the same song many, many times to focus on different parts or different aspects of the song, such as like the instrumental strictly, the vocals strictly. So it's to just get a better, well-rounded feeling of what the song is all about. My mom said that it depends on her mood and what's going on in her life at the moment as to what she will think about. Sometimes she will relate songs to her life to motivate her or get her through the day when she's sad. And my dad says that he thinks about the sound and the meaning behind the vocals the most whenever he's listening to music. I've experienced a miracle with music because my husband Corey, when he was 2 months old, he suffered from a stroke on the right side of his brain, so it affected his left arm and also his speech. His entire life he has had a speech impediment, but when he sings any kind of music, there is no stuttering involved at all. It's like it's channeling another part of your brain to sing versus the part of your brain that is activated for you to talk. And it's crazy to think that someone can go from having a hard time talking to singing perfectly. And that's affected more than just him as well, because we have looked up different singers who may have been affected not necessarily by a stroke, but by some kind of speech impediment, and we have found many of those. I'm going to include the link for my Google Forms document on the same document this YouTube video link is found. I think music has changed a lot over the years. Different decades, certain genres were listened to more than others. Some were acceptable, some were not. And now I think there's more people who are accepting of the different genres of music, and there's more people who are willing to give different genres of music a chance, because I know for myself and my husband as well, we particularly like heavy metal music, but we will also listen to other music such as rap, country, folk, jazz. It could be anything, probably besides gospel, just because neither one of us are very religious. And I find that we enjoy the music the most that the artists themselves wrote their own music, because it puts so much more meaning behind the music itself, having that person share their experience with the world. My favorite band, Korn, they write their own music, and it's all things that I can relate to, and I use that to help me get through hard times. And I think that's the difference between people who need to have music in their life and people who don't necessarily need to have music in their life. Some people didn't have any other option besides to have music. Music was my only friend in high school. I got bullied a lot. My husband was bullied a lot. Neither one of us had an outlet besides music to go to. So, of course, we can't imagine our lives without music, because our lives would probably be very different right now if music wasn't around. I think that people who don't need music in their life just maybe haven't gone through, or maybe they have gone through situations that are horrible, but they've had they've had people there to support them, their family, they've had friends, things that not everyone has. Not everyone can rely on their family to help them. Not everyone has friends that they can rely on when they're going through a hard time. Sometimes people have to go to concerts and experience that new music from their favorite band to really just release all their anger, release all their frustrations, release their anxiety, their depression, their feelings. It means a lot to people sometimes, and it's crazy to think that there's just some people who just don't need to have music at all in their life. And I didn't think that there was many people out there, and my survey did show that more people do want music in their life, but showing that 5 people did say that they don't need to have it in their life shows that there are people out there who just don't need to have music at all in their life. I think country music is probably the most popular because a lot of people are in the image that they live in a country area because Illinois is surrounded by cornfields, but being in a town like Springfield, you're in a city, you're not in a small rural environment where you're really a farmer. So, but people associate it with it because it's their environment. So they associate with country music because it talks about the environment that they see. To me, my favorite is heavy metal because that's the genre that is raw and talks about things that are really happening in the world and feelings that people really have, especially with anxiety and depression and mental health issues, I believe. And I think heavy metal rock has always gotten this kind of negative connotation to it, as to people don't like it or won't listen to it because Marilyn Manson was accused of being responsible for those kids shooting in Columbine, which I don't believe has anything to do with that. Metallica and Slayer were blamed for the West Memphis 3, and they spent 18 years of their life behind bars for a crime that they did not commit, simply because they listened to Metallica and Slayer. That makes no sense. You cannot judge someone based on the music that they listen to. And just because that music sounds and sometimes does have very harsh vocals, does not mean that's going to make a person go off and commit a crime. I've listened to this music since I was about 5 years old, and I have never committed a crime. So people are often quick to judge those who listen to heavy metal music, I believe, more so than any other genre there is. I'm very happy I chose this project because it opened my eyes to what people like, and also to show me that music isn't always as important to people as it is to others. And I have 15 tattoos, primarily all Korn tattoos, because they mean that much to me, and people often don't understand why I would go that far to show how much I appreciate a band, but they just don't understand often what people have gone through and what music basically saves people's lives, in my opinion. And I can see that other people's opinions vary with this, because like I said, 5 people don't even need to have music in their life at all. So I think you can't look at age to discriminate towards what music they're going to like or what music they're not going to like, or even if music is a must-have in their life, because a lot of the 46 people that said that yes, they need to have music in their life varied in age as well, not just for the no. So age isn't really something that you can look at. I think you have to look at someone's past, and I think you have to see what kind of support system they have. Is their family around? Is their family willing to talk through problems? Do they have to keep things bottled up inside because they don't have very many friends to vent to? I think that really shows what music means to people. And also, if people use music as an outlet to escape from the real world. I know a lot of people do that. I do that. My husband does that. My dad does that. My mom does that. So I think you just have to look at what people have gone through and who their support system is, rather than age, what decade they were born in, or anything else like that. Thank you for joining me today on Haley McIntyre Presents Fun with Sociology. I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.